Somewhere out there, a truck just did something most engineers say shouldn't be possible. 800,000 miles. Same engine, same transmission, never rebuilt. We're not telling you which truck it is yet. Most vehicles start falling apart after 200,000 miles. This one is still going to work every single morning, like the last 600,000 miles never happened. Mechanics say it's not luck, it's a pattern. One that only shows up in a specific list of trucks engineered so tough that failure almost isn't an option. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which truck hit 800,000 miles. You'll know the other 9 trucks mechanics trust to cross the 500,000 mile mark. And you'll know which ones they quietly warn people to avoid. One pick on this list is going to surprise you. And the truck at number 1 built a reputation that spans 3 continents, war zones, and disaster relief missions where failure was never an option. So, what's your guess for number 1? Lock it in, don't scroll to the comments yet. Let's find out if you're rigged. Number 10, Ford F-150, 1997-2003, Triton V8. 5:30 in the morning, 20 degrees outside. A crew climbs into an F-150 already sitting at 260,000 miles. Nobody's worried. Nobody even thinks about it. That's the entire story of this truck in one sentence. Mechanics respect it because Ford didn't try to reinvent anything here. The 4.6 and 5.4-liter Triton V8s were straightforward and repairable. No exotic technology hiding under the hood waiting to bankrupt someone. But here's where it gets interesting. The early spark plugs had a habit of seizing inside the cylinder heads. Some snapped clean off during removal. Owners who didn't know the trick got blindsided by a repair bill that should never have happened. Most people assume horsepower and towing numbers are what make a truck last this long. Mechanics disagree. They'll tell you it's parts availability and repairability, and this truck had both in abundance. Any shop in the country could fix it fast and cheap. That's exactly why so many are still working today, 2 decades later. And somehow, this isn't even close to the toughest truck on our list. Chevy owners still argue about the next one at truck stops like it's family. Number 9. Chevrolet Silverado 1500, 1999-2006, Vortec 5.3L V8. A rural mail carrier has driven the same 40-mile gravel loop for 15 years. Same truck the entire time. She's never missed a delivery because of a mechanical failure. Mechanics see this story constantly. Someone buys a used Silverado with 200,000 miles, braced for the worst. The truck just keeps going. The reason is one engine, the Vortec 5.3. GM kept variations of it in production for decades because it simply worked. It wasn't flawless. The 4L60E transmission behind it had known weaknesses under heavy towing, but for everyday abuse, it held up far better than anyone expected. There were issues: intake manifold gasket leaks, some oil consumption at higher mileage. Mechanics call these annoyances, not fatal flaws. Here's the part almost nobody expects. This truck's real strength isn't toughness, it's smoothness. Owners say the Vortec runs unshakable past 300,000 miles, like it barely notices the years passing. Then something unexpected happened in the diesel world. The next truck didn't just survive hard work. It rewrote what people believed diesel power could do. Minampere. GMC Sierra 2500 HD, 2001-2004, Duramax LB7. A Sierra pulls a fully loaded livestock trailer down a 2-lane highway at dusk, 60 miles from town. The driver isn't worried. He's made this exact drive 100 times. Before this engine existed, diesel trucks had a rough reputation: loud, dirty, slow. The LB7 Duramax shattered that in a single generation, and mechanics still talk about it with real respect decades later. Paired with the Allison transmission, a gearbox mechanics call one of the toughest ever built. This truck could absorb abuse that would destroy almost anything else on the road. Mechanics noticed a strange pattern with early production years, though. LB7 injectors had a well-documented failure point. Smart owners replace them before they fail, not after, 60 miles from help, with a loaded trailer behind them. A farmer has 6 hours before a storm ruins next week's delivery schedule. His truck has one job: don't break today. That's exactly what this generation of Sierra was built for, and thousands of them quietly crossed 500,000 miles in commercial service. Nobody threw them a parade for it. We're still nowhere near number one. But this next truck proved that size has almost nothing to do with legendary durability. Number 7. Toyota Tacoma, 2005-2015, 4.0L V6. An overlander sets up camp 3 days from the nearest paved road, 280,000 miles on the odometer. He's not worried about tomorrow's drive. Here's where it gets interesting. The Tacoma isn't the biggest truck on this list, isn't the fastest, isn't the most powerful. Most buyers compare towing capacity first. Mechanics compare something completely different: how forgiving an engine is when maintenance gets delayed by a week or two. That's exactly where the Tacoma wins. Mechanics trust the 4.0 V6 because Toyota built in a massive safety margin. It's genuinely common to find these trucks running on original internals well past 300,000 miles. What happened next shocked plenty of owners, though. Frame rust in snowbelt states got so severe, Toyota launched a nationwide replacement program to fix it. A real weakness, not a footnote. Still, for people who spend weeks hundreds of miles from a tow truck, this isn't just a vehicle choice. It's the difference between an adventure and an emergency. If you think that's impressive, wait until you see what the next truck survived, somewhere far less glamorous than a mountain trail. Number 6. Nissan Titan, 2004-2015, 5.6L V8 Endurance. A loading dock, 6 in the morning. A Titan gets loaded with more weight than anyone expects from a budget truck and pulls away without a struggle. Almost nobody talks about this one. That's a mistake. Nissan built the 5.6-liter Endurance V8 specifically for sustained heavy loads. Fleet operators noticed immediately. This truck routinely outhauled trucks that cost twice as much. There was a rough patch. Early corrosion recalls damaged its reputation in certain regions, but the drivetrain underneath never lost the trust of the mechanics who worked on it. Ask any fleet mechanic with 20 years of experience. The Titan comes up more than you'd expect, almost like an inside secret among people who actually work on trucks for a living. Number 5. Dodge Ram 2500, 1994-1998, 5.9L Cummins 12-valve. Harvest season, Kansas. A farmer has maybe 6 hours before a storm rolls in and takes the whole crop with it. His Ram 2500 has one job today: don't break down. Mechanics see this exact story constantly. A 12-valve Cummins rolls in with 400,000 miles, and the owner says they've never touched the internals. Here's why. The 5.9-liter 12-valve is one of the most overbuilt diesel engines ever installed in a production truck. Minimal emissions equipment, a mechanical injection pump serviceable in a home garage. Built for punishment, not comfort. There are weak points worth knowing honestly. Exhaust manifold cracking, kingpin wear, both well documented. Neither one a deal breaker. For a moment, plenty of mechanics would rank this engine at number 1 on raw durability alone. But one vehicle consistently earns even more trust. And it's the truck we've been building toward since the opening seconds. We're getting closer. Number 4. Ford F-250, F-350, 1999-2003, 7.3L Powerstroke, Alaska. A mountain pass. Temperatures that would strand most vehicles within the hour. An F-250 crosses it like it's nothing. Ask any diesel mechanic to name Ford's greatest engine ever built. The answer comes back instantly: the 7.3 Powerstroke. Why? Timing. It was built before emissions regulations forced fragile complexity onto diesel engines. No EGR system to eventually clog. No particulate filter to fail expensively. Just a heavy, robust design engineered to take decades of abuse. Almost nobody outside the diesel world knows this part. It's common in trucking circles to hear about a 7.3 getting pulled from a rusted-out chassis and dropped into a new, used truck, running strong for years afterward. That's not exaggeration. That's a documented pattern specific to this engine. The known issues are minor: cam sensor failures, wiring harness wear, cheap, easy fixes for any competent shop. That reputation is impressive, but the next truck changed the entire conversation around durability. It didn't earn its legend on American soil. It earned it somewhere far more unforgiving. Number 3. Toyota Hilux. We're getting closer to the truck that started this whole video. But first, this one. Most people already know the legend. Few know the full story behind it. A British TV show tried to destroy a Hilux on camera, submerged it in the ocean, set it on fire, dropped it from a demolition building as it came down. It still started, but the real story isn't the stunt. It's what mechanics across Africa, the Middle East, and Australia will tell you directly. The Hilux is built for field repairability in places where the nearest dealership might be 400 miles away. Its manual transmissions are prized for a kind of stubborn reliability that outlasts nearly everything else on the vehicle. For aid organizations and overlanders crossing regions with no cell signal for days at a time, this truck isn't a preference. It's closer to a requirement. If that surprised you, what comes next is even harder to believe. The final 2 trucks belong to a different category entirely. Machines people trusted when a breakdown wasn't just inconvenient. It was dangerous. Number 2. Toyota Tundra 2000-2006 4.7L V8/I-Force. When Toyota entered the full-size truck market, critics doubted it could compete with the American giants. Mechanics who've serviced both say it didn't just compete. It quietly embarrassed some of them on long-term reliability. The 4.7 I-Force V8 built a reputation for shockingly low failure rates. Many of these trucks reached high mileage on their original internals. No rebuilds required. For ranchers who made the switch, the appeal was almost anticlimactic. The truck simply didn't brake the way they expected a truck to brake. There's one shared weakness with the Tacoma: frame rust in colder climates. Toyota responded again with a replacement program. For decades, mechanics and expedition leaders have been asked the exact same question. If your life depended on one vehicle starting tomorrow morning, which one would you choose? For a moment, plenty of them would say this one, but one vehicle consistently beats it, and it's the truck from our opening story. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser, the truck from the opening. The one we've been building toward since the first 15 seconds. 800,000 miles, same engine, same transmission, never rebuilt, the Toyota Land Cruiser. This vehicle doesn't just have a reputation, it has a mythology. United Nations convoys, Australian outback ranchers, militaries on multiple continents, all choosing the same vehicle for the same reason, because when failure isn't an option, this is what they pick without debate. Its inline-6 and V8 diesel engines are over-engineered almost to excess. Reinforced construction, forged internals, systems designed to be field serviceable with basic tools, dealership or not. Both transmissions have documented histories running past 500,000 miles on nothing more than routine fluid changes and attentive ownership. Not miracles, just consistency, repeated for years until the mileage numbers stop sounding believable. The weaknesses are minor. Some rust in coastal climates, a higher price tag than most rivals. Owners say it's worth it every single time. What separates the Land Cruiser from everything else on this list is scale. This isn't a regional reputation. It's global, the one vehicle you choose when you genuinely cannot afford to be wrong. Final conclusion. 500,000 miles isn't luck. It's engineering, it's maintenance, it's owners who refused to give up. That's why these machines became legends while thousands of others quietly disappeared into scrapyards. Every truck on this list showed up for someone when it mattered. The farmer racing a storm, the aid worker with no other way in, the contractor who couldn't afford a missed job. Legends aren't measured by horsepower. They're measured by the miles nobody thought were possible. If you had to cross a desert with no phone signal and could only choose one truck from this list, which one are you taking and why? If your favorite didn't make the list, convince everyone in the comments it deserved a spot. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more stories like this one. We'll see you in the next one.